You wouldn't believe the lengths people go to make a buck. Over the years, I've come across some truly bizarre and unexpected ways people have raked in the cash. Allow me to share with you some of the strangest stories that have crossed my path. It all started when I was a broke college student, struggling to make ends meet. I had a part-time job at a local coffee shop, but it wasn't enough to cover my tuition and living expenses. So, I began exploring unconventional ways to make money. This journey led me down a rabbit hole of odd jobs and bizarre ventures, and it opened my eyes to the wild world of creative money-making. One day, while sipping on a cheap instant coffee in my tiny apartment, I stumbled upon an article about a man named Paul, who made a fortune selling pet rocks. Yes, you read that right. Pet rocks. In the 1970s, Paul packaged ordinary rocks in little boxes with breathing holes and sold them as low-maintenance pets. People loved the novelty, and soon Paul was rolling in dough. Inspired by his story, I decided to dig deeper into other quirky ventures. A few weeks later, I met Lisa, a woman who earned a comfortable living by designing and selling ugly Christmas sweaters. It all started as a joke. She made a ridiculous sweater for an office party, and it was such a hit that she received dozens of requests for similar sweaters. Before she knew it, she had a full-blown business on her hands. Every holiday season, Lisa would disappear into her workshop, only to emerge with the most outrageous, tacky, and hilarious sweaters you could imagine. People couldn't get enough of them. Then there was Sam, the human billboard. I ran into him at a street fair where he was walking around covered in advertisements. Sam had struck deals with local businesses to wear their ads on his clothing as he went about his daily activities. He even had a website where businesses could bid for prime ad spots on his body. It might sound ridiculous, but Sam was making a small fortune just by turning himself into a walking billboard. Another fascinating story came from Emily, a professional cuddler. In a world where human connection is often lacking, Emily offered her services as a cuddler for hire. She provided a safe, non-judgmental space for people to experience the comfort of human touch. Emily's business took off, and she quickly gained a loyal client base. It turns out there are plenty of people willing to pay good money for a good cuddle. While these stories were intriguing, they were just the tip of the iceberg. I started actively seeking out more tales of strange money-making methods. That's when I stumbled upon Dave, who made a killing by selling air. Not just any air, but fresh, clean air from the countryside. Dave would fill up canisters with air from pristine locations and sell them to people living in polluted cities. His business started as a joke, but as air quality declined in many urban areas, demand for his product soared. Then there was Nancy, who created a niche market for herself by renting out her pet goats. She lived on a small farm and had a herd of goats that she loved dearly. One day, she discovered that goats were great at clearing weeds and overgrown brush. She started renting out her goats to property owners who needed help with land management. Nancy's goats became so popular that she had a waiting list of clients eager to hire them. I even met a guy named Kevin who made money by standing in line for people. Kevin realized that in a busy city, there were plenty of folks who didn't have the time or patience to wait in long lines for the latest gadgets, concert tickets, or exclusive restaurant reservations. So, he offered his services as a professional line stander. Kevin would queue up for hours, sometimes even overnight, so his clients wouldn't have to. His business grew rapidly, and he eventually hired a team of line standers to meet the demand. As my quest for quirky money-making stories continued, I encountered a man named Tom, who had turned his obsession with bugs into a profitable venture. Tom was an entomologist who collected rare and exotic insects. He started breeding and selling them to collectors and researchers around the world. Tom's insect empire included everything from giant beetles to colorful butterflies. His passion for bugs not only earned him a tidy sum, but also helped advance scientific research. Each story I uncovered was more fascinating than the last, and it became clear that there was no limit to human creativity when it came to making money. Whether it was selling imaginary friends, yes, that's a thing too, or offering digital hugs via video chat, people were finding the most unexpected ways to cash in on their ideas. As for me, my adventures in unconventional money-making didn't lead to a fortune, but they taught me an invaluable lesson. Opportunity is everywhere if you're willing to think outside the box. Inspired by the colorful characters and their unique enterprises, I started my own YouTube channel to share these stories with the world. I wanted to celebrate the ingenuity and resilience of those who dared to dream differently. So here I am, sharing these bizarre and wonderful tales with you, hoping to inspire you to look beyond the ordinary and find your own path to financial success. After all, in a world full of possibilities, who knows what weird and unexpected way you might discover to make your fortune? And there you have it, a glimpse into the curious and creative ways people have made money. Let this be a reminder that sometimes the strangest ideas can lead to the greatest rewards. Keep dreaming, keep exploring, and you just might stumble upon your own peculiar profit.